Right, lads, strap yourselves in because today's Celtic news is absolutely wild. Hugh Keevins is at it again with outrageous claims about the hoops. We've got the real reason why Sondre Orjasaeter turned down Parkhead, and then the bombshell, Chris Sutton's furious reaction to talk about Daizen Maeda. Trust me, the last story is the biggest of the lot, so make sure you stick around right till the end. Hit that subscribe button so we can smash our 500 subscriber target and get this Celtic news to every fan around the world. Listen, this is peak Hugh Keevins nonsense, isn't it? The man's made a career out of winding up the Celtic support, and this one might just take the biscuit, saying Hearts and Hibs are in a better position than the champions of Scotland. Come on, that's like saying a wee chipper on Sochi Hall Street is Michelin star compared to your granny's Sunday roast. Absolute madness. Celtic have played 3 competitive games this season, won the lot, banged in 7 goals, conceded just the once, and somehow we're worse than the Edinburgh pair? Honestly, I think Keevins has been spending too much time in the capital. Maybe he's had one too many pints in Leith and thought Hibs were Brazil 1970. Meanwhile, up at Paradise, we've got Calmac leading the charge, Daizen Maeda terrorizing defenses. Remember, top scorer in the league, swept every Player of the Year award going, and a squad that's worth more than both those clubs combined. Let's not forget, the boys are sitting on a bank balance of over 65 million quid. That's not just stability, that's a fortress. Keevins blethers on about us being one bad result away from a meltdown. Aye, maybe that's the mob across the city he's thinking about, the ones that greet more than the weather in Glasgow. At Parkhead, we've got standards, trophies, and Champions League nights. Hearts and Hibs, they're good for a decent game on a Sunday, but they're not in the same stratosphere as the hoops. And as for being in fear of Kairat Almaty, get away with yourself, Hugh. The only folk living in fear are the ones watching Celtic rack up titles while they're left to celebrate a decent run in the Europa Conference League. So I'll throw it out there to you, Celtic fan. Do you actually take Hugh Keevins seriously anymore? Or is he just in the business of saying daft things to get a rise out of us? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's jai it, laldy, till we hit 500 mad Celtic dafts. Aye, that clears a lot up about the Sondre Orjasaeter saga. For months, folk were wondering if Celtic were really in for him or if it was just paper talk. Turns out the interest was 100% genuine, but the boy himself had his heart set on the Eredivisie, and you can kind of see why. Dutch football has a reputation for developing young wingers, and at $5 million plus bonuses, Twente were clearly willing to make him feel like the main man. Jan Strooijer more or less confirmed it. Celtic wanted him, he had options, but his preference was Holland. Sometimes it's not about the money or the size of the club, it's about the pathway and where a player thinks they'll get the most chances. From his point of view, the Eredivisie is a league where young talent gets showcased to the big 5 leagues, so fair play. But here's where it gets interesting for the hoops. Missing out on Orjasaeter doesn't mean the transfer window's done. David Strelic's name has popped back up, and that's one we've heard before. His dad's pretty much come out and said Celtic are still in the mix alongside Middlesbrough. Timing was the issue before, with Slovan focused on Champions League qualifiers, but now with the deadline looming, things could move fast. So here's the question for the fans. Would you rather Celtic splash out on raw potential like Orjasaeter, who might have needed a bedding-in period, or go for someone like Strelic, who's already played senior football at a decent level and could make an impact right away? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's giant loldy till we hit 500 mad Celtic daffs. Chris Sutton's hit the nail on the head with this one. Honestly, the mere thought of selling Daizen Maeda right now is pure madness. The lad isn't just another winger, He's the engine, the spark, the lad who drags the whole team up the park with his pace and relentless pressing. 31 goals last season, every award going, and folk are even daring to whisper about cashing in. Not a chance. You can throw 75 million quid at it if you like. Sutton's right. It still wouldn't cut it, because selling Maeda isn't losing one player. It's like losing two. He gives you the goals, he gives you the graft, he can play wide or through the middle, and right now, with the squad stretched as thin as the sunshine in December, it'd be nothing short of catastrophic. And let's be blunt here, flogging him would hand the Rangers a lifeline. You and I both know they're praying for a leveler, something to close the gap, and losing Maeda would gift them exactly that. Imagine the headlines, Rangers sniff a chance. I can hear the tears of joy already echoing through Govan. Here's the thing, some folks say he's 27 with 2 years left on his deal, so maybe now's the time to cash in. But that only makes sense if there's two top-class replacements waiting in the tunnel at Parkhead, boots laced, ready to go, and there's not. So here's my big question for you. If a crazy bid did land on Celtic's table, I'm talking 75 million plus, would you still tell the board to sling it? Or would you take the money and gamble on rebuilding? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's jay it loudly till we hit 500 mad. Celtic Daffs.